Activities to mark Indigenous Peoples Month continues. Domestic violence victims struggles to get out. In the region, Germany and Norway halt aid funding over Brazil's Amazon policies. And internationally, United Nations report says US, France, Britain may be complicit in Yemen's war crimes. Greetings and welcome to this edition of Headline News Updates. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Today at 2 p.m., the Demerara Harbor Bridge resumed operations. This was 4 hours ahead of the previous predictions by the management of the Demerara Harbor Bridge for light vehicular traffic. According to the Minister of Infrastructure, Honorable David Patterson, all structural repairs were completed by 11:30 today, with the remaining works on alignment continuing. Light traffic across the Harbor Bridge will include cars, motorcycles, some canters, and light trucks. Around 1 a.m. on Monday, a tug and a barge collided with the Demerara Harbor Bridge, which resulted in structural damage to several parts of the bridge. Investigations into the cause of the accident are ongoing. This month, the activities to celebrate Guyana's indigenous peoples continue. Here's more. His Excellency David Granger was the featured speaker at the launch. On his arrival, he was greeted by Prime Minister Moses Nagamootoo, Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Sidney Allicock, and Minister within the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Valerie Garrido-Low. It was an event filled with a variety of indigenous culture, crafts, face paintings, and foods. Rubiana Allen has been making a variety of crafts for the past 8 years, a skill she would have learned from her mother. The Ethnic Relations Commission was also there spreading their message. The cultural extravaganza in celebration of Indigenous peoples continues until Thursday, September 5th. A GPL pole fell on a snacket on Mandela Avenue today and it caused a commotion. Wendell Jeffrey reports.
Today around noon, a Guyana power and light pole fell on the roof of a snacket just outside the Rubens gas station on Mandela Avenue. The workers are with the Sino Hydro Corporation Limited Mandela Road Expansion Project. There was a report that injuries took place and the person who was observed to have been injured was rushed to the Davis Memorial Hospital in Durban Backlands. However, a commotion was caused when a lady purported to be the daughter of an elderly woman claimed that her mother was also injured. A Sino Corporation representative on the scene offered a $5,000 compensation to the woman for her mother's alleged injuries, but the daughter vehemently refused.
Davis Memorial Hospital, we say public hospital. Davis Memorial.
However, one of the GPL's workers said that the elderly lady was nowhere close to where the pole fell and that she did not sustain any injuries.
And this other lady was nowhere. That's the other thing. It's alleged that she was buying from the girl. No, the lady. That's what the staff of the gas station. That's what they say. That's what's being alleged. But we know and being alleged is two different stories.
Initially, things got a little heated at the scene of the incident.
You go back that way. Don't this is a senior citizen. You go back that way. Me and you go back that way.
On the insistence of the daughter, the senior lady was placed in a vehicle and accompanied by the Sino Corporation staff, she was taken to the hospital. For Channel 2 Headline News, Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. Coming up after the break, woman struggles to free herself from a violent relationship and a man on a cycle caught robbing a female.
styles. Simply different.
Wouldn't it be nice if we didn't have so much waste to dispose of in the landfill? Well, composting can help us reduce the waste we dispose of by turning our organic waste into compost, which can be used to improve the quality of our soil.
Composting is very simple and convenient. You can compost using organic waste such as vegetable skins,
or fallen leaves and cut grass and put this in a composting bin or pile.
Compost can help your garden grow healthy plants
while reducing your volume of waste. It's a really good way to keep our communities clean and healthy.
So, let's all start composting our waste.
Find out how easy it is. Call us on 226-2189 or 227-8429 or visit our website moc.gov.ui. A message from the Ministry of Communities in collaboration with the Inter-American Development Bank.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
Welcome back. Today, the Guyanese critic posted a video footage of a young lady being robbed by a bicycle bandit around 6:30 this morning. The event took place at Cross Street in Alexander Village. It is reported that a young lady who worked at the airport was waiting for her transportation when the man on the bicycle rode up, snatched her phone, then her working bag before calmly getting back on his bicycle and riding off, leaving the woman terrified. A grandmother says that she wants to leave a domestic violent relationship but has nowhere to go. Here is Esther Sobers.
I pass into too much torment because he there now with you and then he thing and this is something with him all time in me.
An elderly woman is crying out for help after enduring continuous years of abuse by her husband. Headline News interviewed 60-year-old Merlene Ben, a mother of 7 and grandmother of 12 grandchildren. She contacted Channel 2 Headline News with her story because of her concerns of the growing trend of women being killed by their spouses. Mrs. Ben, who owns a confectionery shop, doesn't want to reveal her identity on camera. She, however, revealed the torture she endures because she has no other place to live.
10 years we live in. You understand me? But when I pick you up, it was not like this. So now, he decided now, as he going astray, every time you come home, if it's something unfinished, he ready for row. You see your grandson still helping you, he ready for row. Because he got no children, he tormented me make no child for he, and I got to move out the house.
As a result of being physically abused, she made reports to the police. However, the suspect would always evade arrest.
Yes, he knocked me behind my head, black out me, when they throw water upon me. And when I catch myself, then I know we go on. When we go to the station, the police they come for go for eat, he always run in the bush them and hide and the police never get him forget him.
However, the woman says she remains in a relationship and is hoping for an amicable solution. There is also an issue with the division of property, and she hopes to place the matter before the courts. Even though the elderly woman claims to be a victim of domestic abuse, she still managed to encourage other women to become independent and leave their abusive partners. According to Principal Magistrate Sherdell Isaacs Marcus, if you do not receive professional services from the Guyana Police Force, persons affected by domestic abuse can contact the magistrate courts directly, and the court can file a charge against the perpetrator. If you are a victim of domestic abuse, you can call Help and Shelter Hotline on 225-4731 for assistance. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. When we return, Germany and Norway halt aid funding over Brazil's Amazon policies, and United Nations report says US, France, Britain may be complicit in Yemen's war crimes.
Are you kidding me? Really? So wrong. That is not what we were taught at the Green Generation Guyana camp.
Is this the correct way to do it? Drivers, you have two options that you can use. First, you can temporarily put your empty plastic bottles in the trunk of your vehicle or on the ground on the passenger side next to you. Or secondly, place them in the nearest garbage bin you see. We need you to play your part in helping us keep the environment clean and healthy. A message from the Ministry of Communities, Green Generation Guyana Sanitation Program. For more information, please contact us on 592-227-2605, or you may find us on the World Wide Web at www.moc.gov.gy.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
Styles. Simply different.
Welcome back. In the region, the fires in Brazil's Amazonia region has caused tension between Brazil and the European Union. At least 2 European countries have frozen donations to what is called the Amazon Fund. It is a move that could affect dozens of environmental projects. Al Jazeera Teresa Bo reports.
Every day, De Jesus Aparecido goes into the Yamari National Park to look for seeds. He's trying to preserve the rainforest and the dozens of species that live in it. The threat of deforestation has become a major problem, and NGOs like Rio Terra are fighting back.
What we are seeing is really bad. They are burning the forest. So our work looks into encouraging families to enroll in economic alternatives that don't destroy, deforest, have environmental impact, or kill the rivers.
Rio Terra is growing thousands of trees every year and help locals make a living while also caring for the environment. The NGO is funded by what's called the Amazon Fund. Handled by the government, the fund raises donations to help fight deforestation in Amazonia.
Deforestation and the fires have already destroyed large sectors of the Amazon rainforest, but there are projects like this one that are trying to preserve and reforest the areas that have been already devastated. There are more than 40 species here of trees and crops. The problem is that projects like this one are now at risk.
Germany and Norway are crucial sponsors of the fund that helps over 100 projects like this one. But they have halted all payments to condemn President Jair Bolsonaro's environmental policies. While Rio Terra has managed to reforest 800 hectares of trees this year. Alexander Queiroz fears a drop in donations will impact their work.
We are very concerned, but we've been working on our projects through the Amazon Fund and Petrobras for a long time. That being said, strategically, we're already looking for other sources of funding. We want to find ways so that the funds don't go through the government.
Bolsonaro, a longtime skeptic of environmental concerns, wants to open the Amazon to more agriculture and mining. Ivaneidi Cardoso has been working to protect indigenous groups living in Rondonia. For years, she has been threatened by loggers and miners, but international funding has allowed her to do her work.
We have much more work now because the local environmental authorities are committed to the cause but feel alone, threatened, and without support from the government. So we are trying at least to show the world there are people who care about the environment, but we don't have any support. Instead, we are being weakened by the government's narrative.
NGOs say they're ready to fight Bolsonaro's attempt to commercialize the rainforest, but need international aid to do so. They say they can protect what Brazil's president will not. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera, Itapuã, Brazil.
And in international news, the United States, United Kingdom, and France may be complicit in war crimes in Yemen by arming and providing intelligence and logistics support to a Saudi-led coalition that starves civilians as a war tactics, the United Nations has said. Al Jazeera reports.
So the evidence is devastating.
Indiscriminate killings, torture, rape, and using starvation as a weapon of war. These are the findings of a group of United Nations experts who investigated the war in Yemen.
The parties to the conflict in Yemen are responsible for an array of human rights violations and violations of international humanitarian law. Some of these violations are likely to amount to war crimes.
It's the second report by a group of eminent experts who say the US, Britain and France may be complicit in war crimes by arming and providing intelligence to the Saudi-UAE coalition. A specialist on Yemen says Western bombs are consistently being used by the coalition.
The problem with the Saudis, the Emiratis, and those who back them, like the United States, they ignore the regional dimension of the war. So short of talking to Iran, short of probably mitigating the tension between the Iranians and the Americans, the Iranians and the Saudis, I think those happening in Yemen is only proxy for probably a bigger game and a wider game.
But the experts say there are no clean hands when it comes to the involvement of all warring parties. That includes Houthi rebels, the Yemeni government, and forces supported by Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. They have targeted hospitals, ports, water facilities, markets, farms, and have restricted the delivery of humanitarian aid. The UN experts also accuse Iran of backing violence committed by the Houthis. One of the most devastating airstrikes targeted a wedding party in 2015. Killing at least 130 people. And in August last year, at least 40 children were killed when a Saudi-UAE coalition airstrike hit their bus in Sada. The experts are also concerned that the war has taken another complex turn as the Saudi-backed government and the UAE-backed separatists in the south are vying for control of Yemen's second city, Aden.
Parties to the conflict themselves seem incapable of even agreeing amongst themselves as to the way forward.
The UN describes the war as the world's worst humanitarian crisis and is calling on all parties to the conflict, including Western countries, to be held accountable. Laura Bowden-Manley, Al Jazeera.
Here now was your 3-day weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. Tune in on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to like and follow us on Facebook and YouTube, or you can visit our website at headlinenewsguyana.com for more news. Until then, take care.